Yo, I should have checked my microphone and stuff beforehand. But welcome back to another episode of Hey Jai. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you, but I'm a dope Hey Jai to step two. All right, I was corny. But as always, you can catch these on YouTube or Twitch at NIT Pod TV. Um, I'm Jai. Hi. Hey Jai, it's just a show. I'm part of the NIT podcast. Subscribe, NIT Pod TV. And started Hey Jai, it's just something to get my thoughts out, um, on things that I observe and see on a regular basis. Sound like I'm yelling. Sorry. That I observe and see on a regular basis. Things that I peep, whether it's on the internet, just through regular media, things of that nature. All right. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hey Jai. So this episode is called A.I Jai. You might have noticed from the title, and basically if you've been living under a rock, the use of AI has grown exponentially. Right. So that's ranging everything from Chat GPT to people are still in other people's voices. But AI isn't new at all. I believe it stands for automated intelligence. If you played any kind of multiplayer game in the past 10 years, you know what AI is. If you play 2K, you know exactly what AI is. If you used any kind of apps on your phone that involve customer support, you know what AI is, right? So none of this is new. But I think the fact that it's becoming smarter, more increasingly prominent and prevalent. Sorry, I think that kind of has a lot of people scared. There are things about it that are nervous or nerve wracking, rather. But for the most part, I'm not necessarily worried. Me and my friends were kind of talking about it, and we're probably going to talk about it whenever we get together for another NIT podcast. We haven't had that in a while either. But, at first, I was just like, okay, well, this is just another tool, right? It's like anything. It's a tool. It's something that you're just going to have to learn how to use, and you're going to have to learn how to adapt. We've dealt with progressions of technology at least all my life, even from simple things as far as how you go about applying jobs. Now you're, just walk into a place and apply anymore with a paper application. You go on like LinkedIn or Indeed, how you get paid, direct deposits, cash apps, things like that. So technology is always changing. So I don't think it should be so much of an issue, right? I think that a lot of people are worried, but one of my good friends kind of brought up to me, it was like, most of Americans, the word that we use, I don't want to use that, not to offend anybody. I don't want to say unskilled laborers, but it's stuff that can be replaceable, right? So it's like you might have a job and you might think that, wow, this job is pretty easy. Excuse me. I'd be like, wow, this job is pretty easy. And a lot of people post about easy jobs that pay well all the time on TikTok, which is another thing that I want to get to a little bit later. But, it might be customer service job. You don't really do much. You hear somebody's complaints. Yeah, okay, if they complain about this, you direct them to this. You complain about that, you direct them to that, right? Easy enough roadmap. Why do that when I can just program a computer to where if they input this is going to pop up. They're kind of already doing that. If you watch how long it takes you to get somebody on Amazon. If you have an issue with the order, you're going to put in a little text message and then somebody's going to chat right back to you, or something rather. She's going to chat right back to you and be like, oh, well, have you looked at this? Even though you have looked at that first, So just little things like that. What really caught the flack of it or not the flag, but what really caught the big, I don't want to say like the eye catcher, rather, was whenever people started copying the AI voices, right? And then you saw it with musicians. So last summer, I believe, if it was that long ago, it might have been less. We actually kind of talked about it on the pod. I don't know if we were showing our faces at that time or not, but it might have been around that summer or so. Um, they had a record label that tried to come out with their own AI artist, completely computer generated. Had a computer generated image. It looked like those the littles, the Takashis, the little pumps, the colorful hair, tattoos all over the face. The beat was generic, but it was something that people listen to. The lyrics were profanity laced, but something that people would listen to. And they caught a lot of flack. It was like, how can you replace real artists? You got that random thing just saying N word all over the place and yeah, yada. But kind of like in my mind, I'm like, oh, it's not that surprising of where it's heading because it's just playing an algorithm game. Because I kind of felt that about rap and entertainment itself. On my last couple of streams, we talked a lot about originality. Everybody doesn't have style; they copy the algorithm. And you can't give everybody style because style ain't free, right? But now, instead of making their own voices, they're just copying other people's voices. And the big one over the past week has been somebody has made an AI generated original song um, using the Weekend and Future's voices. The Weekend, if not Future, sorry, Weekend and Drake's voices. Weekend and Drake, they've never recorded this. They ain't rap over this beat. There's nothing to really sample it from. But because of how advanced AI technology has gotten, their voices are almost indistinguishable. And they didn't just do it with them. They have people doing covers. You can go on TikTok and they have whole TikTok pages, dedicated to AI covers, Kanye voiceover. They had one Jay-Z rapping Ice Spice lyrics. Shout out to Ice Spice and Nicki Minaj, Princess Diana remix. Yeah, that's the only song I'm gonna shout out outside of my boy B Roy's song. Put the comment right there. Click that link in the comment. It's on YouTube and Twitch. Go check out his video. But yeah, so they made this original song, not a cover, not just them saying something crazy. This is an original song that sounds like something that Drake and the Weeknd actually could have been put together. It's called Heart on My Sleeve. I'm not getting paid by anybody to promote their stuff, so I'm not about to link you to it, but I would definitely say go look that up. Yeah, so, and that got people saying that, like, wow, if you can do this with AI, who knows what's next? You just essentially, or you're on the verge of eliminating people, you know? And I find it kind of ironic that the minute that more and more people started capitalizing off of their intellectual property, somebody was just like, okay, we're just gonna steal your intellectual property now. We're gonna copy your voice, we're gonna copy your image, we're gonna copy your speech patterns, things that you might say, you know, and that's essentially what they're working on. So it's like, okay, yeah, you're not about to get paid off of this anymore. And so while that comes from, well, I think that at least in the short term, it's best to learn it, learn how to use it, while it's still a tool. That's why I was somewhat optimistic, or rather, you just kind of got to go get it, right? My friend, who's a lot smarter than me whenever it comes to this field in particular, was saying that it's intelligence, right? So eventually, it's not going to be something that's going to need maintenance or engineering, or after a while, it's not going to need certain programming because it's going to be able to do it itself because it's learning. And I think I'm like, man, that is some iRobot type stuff. See, Grandma, I know you're watching. I'm not cursing. All right. And I think that that could definitely be frightening because a lot of people can get in certain jams. Like, imagine, for one, if you're a scammer, you licking your chops at this, because imagine you get a call from a relative and they say, hey, I need you to send somebody here, and they say that it's like an emergency. You're gonna do it. but then it's not their voice, right? And we saw something similar with this with the I think the Alexa did it first. Amazon, they did it first, where they had the different celebrities being your Alexa voice. I think they could do like a GPS or something like that. Or some people did the pre-recorded voices in like the teddy bears for their dead relatives, right? And so I think that's only going to trend to people being alive. Like, hell, you can take this show, right? I doubt anybody wants to do me right now, but let's say 5 years, somebody got like a grudge against me. It's like really good with computers. Or I don't know, somebody tries to cancel me, right? They'll take my voice and how I sound here, and they could probably just put anything over it because they can just take the speech patterns and then copy and get something over it, you know? Or what if it's somebody who doesn't know any better? Like one of the scenarios that we first talked about was you see a lot of rapper beefs, like whenever that was real big. I don't know. I graduated high school in 2016. So while I was in high school during that time, DJ Academics had the whole war on Iraq series and all that other stuff, and a bunch of people, you know, who were never in any kind of impoverished situation or gang related situation, anything like that, started fetishizing and, you know, globalizing like gang behavior and things like that, especially on the internet. And that kind of trend has never stopped, right? And I think a lot of, I don't want to say rappers, but it's a lot of street dudes who rap, uh, came from that, and they have real life beefs. So what's to stop, you know, my favorite rapper? Yeah, what's to stop my favorite rapper who beefing with your favorite rapper? And apparently I'm just some kid in the suburbs and I don't like that dude. So I just go on AI and then I hook up. You saw they just made a Drake and Weekend song. You make a diss song about this guy, right? And instead of responding in the studio, you respond in real life. Now you got somebody guilt, you know. So it's spooky out there. But with that being said, like anything, you're gonna have to adapt, right? You're gonna have to find a way to get around it. People are saying that, you know, this is gonna take jobs and it's gonna. I think is they're trying to force everybody into, I don't want to say manual labor, but blue collar labor rather. They're trying to force that to being the main means of jobs, which honestly, more people should get into blue collar labor anyway, because it's very lucrative, um, real opportunity to make money in that field. But you know, I think they're trying to essentially eliminate, you know, cushy jobs whenever it's something that could be as simple as, okay, it's a program, go do it. You know, so few things don't necessarily need such a human touch, because I think we've gotten to a point as a society that we would sacrifice a lot for convenience. You know, we'll sacrifice a lot for convenience because it's just easier, right? Why you why buy cable whenever you can just get Hulu and Disney Plus and all this other stuff, right? It's gonna why why go change your own oil whenever you can go to G Food, even if you know how to do it. You know, why go to a car? Why sit in the garage and wash your car, not the garage, driveway, and wash your own car whenever you can just go run through somewhere else and then get it taken care of. This is just kind of where we are in the society, because I believe that we've advanced so much that there's nothing that we actually need. And I think that the fact that we don't need anything, it's set up a room for us to be, well, lazy, or not lazy, but rather artistic, exploratory, you know. And I think that that's a good thing, but I think that it's getting to the point to where nobody really wants to do anything work related. I just be honest with you, you know, everybody wants to make content or be an influencer or I don't know, food reviewer, go viral, you know, and again, this is might sound critical that somebody that's in the process of building up something and making content, but well, it's for fun or not just for fun, but because like I like it for me, right? It's therapeutic. But I didn't start doing this as a come up, or it's like, oh yeah, this gonna help me get some cheese. You know what I'm saying? Like real quick. Like, no, this is something that I just like doing, something that if it does turn to something that's great, but something that I'm just gonna continue to do for myself. And I don't think a lot of people are doing that because I feel like that a lot of y'all are just taking the same hustle. And then I feel like somebody smarter with more money was just like, okay, well, we're about to eliminate them from being able to do any of that because we're just about to AI it the F out of here, right? So yeah, so that's my thoughts on AI. You know, I think that it's going to be a very interesting next couple of years. Um, we're really about to see the world change again in real time, and so it's very exciting. At the same time, it could be nerve wracking, but I mean, hey, I was just always raised with the mentality that you got to get it. You just can't, you know, wallow around. If the AI takes your job, then you got to go find another job. You know, if the AI steals your music, go make some more music. Go find a different sound. You know, if they take your content to hit the algorithm, go find a new way to manipulate the algorithm, right? Because what people don't realize is that the algorithm is what we make it. It's as powerful as we make it. It's as influential as we make it. You know, the algorithm is based off of essentially what we like, so we don't have to become slaves to what we like. Be individual, man. AI, all individuals, not artificial intelligence. Use your own intelligence. That's what we always preach here. Think for yourself. Um, huh. I was gonna go to something. That was a little morbid. Go to something that's kind of funny, or yeah, let me go to something that's kind of funny. All right. Oh, a couple weeks ago. I know I'm late on this because I haven't done any content in like 3 weeks. All right, but man, I don't know if you saw that Tyrese video, but he was like online with him and his girl, and this is why everything shouldn't be on the internet. But um, I guess they was just talking about, you know, are they your partner's type and things like that. And then Tyrese girl said, actually, no, you're not my type. You know who was my type? The late great Paul Walker, right? And Paul Walker and Tyrese were actually friends in real life, but you know they were both on Fast and Furious movies. I watched a lot as a kid, and you know, I heard a lot of people whenever Paul Walker died, but I would imagine someone that got as close to him as Tyrese, like they did multiple movies together. You know, all the counts, they feel like they're actually, you know, type family. And Tyrese is somebody who's been bullied on the internet a lot for essentially just being a black man to show his emotions. Um, the red pill dudes say don't do that, and they kind of have a point because people do take advantage of that. But I think that his girl saying that was just kind of wild. That was just wild and out of pocket. But clearly he was hurt. So it's just kind of like, was he more hurt that it was Paul Walker? Or was he more hurt that he just wasn't his girl's type? And this is something that I wish I would rather have with a guest. But I don't know. Just my thoughts on it. I think that you should be a partner's type. Or you should be in the realm. I don't think that you should be you should be as close as possible to what they usually go with. Right. And my only logic for that is you don't want, or I don't know how you feel, but for me, I never want to be like, oh, this dude is the type of dudes I actually like, but they always treated me wrong. So I'm just gonna get something completely different. Hope they treat you right. False. I'll treat you bad too. But I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But but you know, like you want people to look at you as an individual. So that's why the things that you share in commonalities, um, I think, are very important. You know, very important with their types. And not everybody even has a quote unquote type. But you know, people like what they like, and people are typically creatures of habit. If you like seafood, it's a safe. If seafood is your favorite food, it's safe to say that whenever you go to the restaurant, you're gonna be looking for some kind of fish, right? Um, if you got a sweet tooth, right, you're gonna go after this type of thing. If you like spicy food, I know to get you the hot chips. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to just I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here, but you kind of want to be like in that same vein. And I feel like Tyrese, he kind of ran into just kind of like a whoa, because Tyrese looks nothing like Paul Walker. Tyrese is a bald black man. Paul Walker was a blonde, blue-eyed white guy. So yeah, that had to be not the best thing that you want to hear from your old lady, especially because that was your friend. But you know, that's just me. I'd rather be my girl's type. If you tune in, leave a comment. Are you your lady's type, or are you your partner's type, brother? If not, are you cool with that? And how do you know? It's the better question. And does that worry you at all? So yeah. Um, NBA playoffs. Like I said, it's gonna be a short stream. Just kind of bouncing around, just doing some quick hitters here. I'm actually going to do a collab stream with Just in Time Sports. We did something going into the NFL season a little earlier, so we're going to try to do something again before the draft and just kind of like in the middle of the NBA playoffs. But it's been a lot going on so far in the playoffs. I haven't watched much basketball this season altogether as I've gotten. I don't know. Basketball has just been less interesting in the regular season to me. But playoff basketball, we all love that. So just a couple of quick predictions that I got the Clippers coming out the West. Well, I don't know. We just found out today that Kawhi got hurt, so I don't know about that. And I'm a Heat fan, so hopefully Miami can find a way through. But if not the Heat, I got the Celtics. But in sports, in general, there's been like a lot of storylines having to do kind of like on the court, off the court stuff. So, like one that kind of caused the beef in my group chat as of late was Mikey Williams, senior in high school. He's been like a high school basketball phenom for years now at this point. I think he played with Bronny, and that's kind of how he rose to fame for just being like that guy. He was supposed to go to Memphis. He got arrested on some like armed robbery charges, and then I feel like a lot of people are just jumping the gun into just saying, that, "Oh, okay, damn, he did it." Getting another athlete throwing them lives away. Um, Another athlete just wasting an opportunity, thinking they're above the law and things like that. But I think we should wait and see. Said that he only fit the description. This kind of caused the beef between me and my friends because it's kind of just like as a black man, you kind of get tired of hearing that or get hearing that was expected or presumed. I feel like a situation that could have happened to anybody that thinks that they're above the law, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, okay, he's an athlete, so he thinks he's better than everybody. He thinks he's better than the world, so he thinks he's untouchable. He does stupid stuff. I know plenty of non-talented people that are just as big as crash dummies, right? And so we don't even know if he did it. Other storylines, kind of on the court stuff. Dylan Brooks been pissing everybody off. I don't get the whole issue with him and the Memphis Grizzlies. Maybe it's just because they're playing LeBron. I have too many friends that are LeBron fans, and don't get me wrong, I like LeBron. I think he's the greatest player of all time. He's just never been my favorite player, but it's just kind of like people just whine, and it's like, oh, he doesn't have enough help. Oh man, you gotta go save Bron, or oh, Dylan Brooks was talking trash to LeBron, so it was like, what's wrong with him? Like they had like the news cycle all day was about some random small forward on the Grizzlies talking trash to LeBron and how LeBron's gonna respond in a game that they lost. So I feel like if there's any time to talk trash is whenever you win. It's not like he was just being delusional or something like that. But I don't know. Everybody, is on his pill, and so that's just where we are. Other playoff news: a lot of injuries in the playoffs. Paul George is out, as I mentioned earlier. Kawhi is out. Tyler Hero's going to miss the playoffs. Giannis got hurt. Draymond got suspended, which that was also another one that was pretty controversial. But I don't know why he stomped on a dude's chest. So I'm not about to get too deep into that. But that's essentially what's going on in the NBA playoffs. Like I said, man, basketball just hasn't been as interesting as the NBA used to be. I don't know, maybe it'll heat up towards the end, but it just feels like we're kind of in that little middle ground of we don't just have somebody great to root for. It seems like all the great players are getting old. Like Chris Paul is 38. Like I'm old enough to remember Chris Paul coming to New Orleans. All right. And so, yeah, it's just a wild time, man. But that was the quick little A.I Jai, just kind of getting my feet wet back into the whole streaming thing. It's hard to talk to yourself for 26 minutes. And usually I'll have more, I guess, polarizing topics to get into. But, yeah, man. More of these coming soon, more of these on a weekly basis. Be on the lookout for the live show with Just in Time Sports, going over not only the NFL, NBA playoffs, but also the NFL draft. That should be coming down the pike very soon. Check out the Tramiel interview. Probably link that in the description down below of the live. And again, subscribe to NIT Pod TV on YouTube and Twitch. It's your boy Jai, Sir Corleone, and I'm out.